If I write a word or words on a piece of paper, it continues into the future. I can write, I love you. In the ancient world, before writing and education, the spoken word or a promise reached into the future. So if I say, I love you, that word can reach into the future. The word can reach into the future even longer than this piece of paper. The resurrection of Jesus is God's word to us. That God is faithful to God's promises. That God is faithful to God's word. Even in the face of all the negative and diminishing aspects of human life, including death, God's word is, I am the God of the living, not the dead. God's word, God's promise, is that the ties that we make with God here on earth will not be broken by death. The relationship that we make with God will not end in death. And so our life with God should not be reduced merely to dreaming about eternity, but resurrection is what we claim as Christians. The Lord has risen. That's what we proclaim at Easter. So the experience should be here and now for each and every one of us. We don't have to wait till death. And we don't have to wait till death to experience heaven and hell. They begin in this world each and every day by our choices, don't they? We understand that. We see that. We experience that. It all depends on whether we choose to love others or to separate ourselves from others. G.K. Chesterton is credited with saying, love means to love that which is unlovable, or it is no virtue at all. Forgiving means to pardon the unpardonable, or it is no virtue at all. Faith means believing the unbelievable, or it is no virtue at all. And hope means hoping when things are hopeless, or it is no virtue at all. Resurrection here and now in our real world means that the poor and the lonely are taken care of and given a place in the community that is safe and secure. The sick are embraced and healed for what they, each and every day, we reach out because we know that we have those that need healing in sickness. And sometimes it's the human touch that brings that healing. We know that we need to be the voice for the voiceless against everything that takes away our dignity or the dignity and respect of any human being, especially the most vulnerable in our society. I was just reading the other day that 15% of our people in the United States live below the poverty line. That means that they make $23,283 or less a year. That means they have $16 a day for food, for shelter, for clothing, for transportation, for medical needs, and educational needs. Resurrection means giving food to the hungry. Our food pantry should never be empty. And providing shelter for the homeless. No one should ever have to live on the streets. Visiting those in prison. Even the most difficult cases that test us in so many ways. If you listen carefully to that first reading, both the brothers Maccabees and their mother were able to witness to love, to forgiveness, to faith and hope in an environment around them that was very hostile and very negative. And even with their dying breaths, they were able to hold on to their faith and their hope. John Paul II said to us that our faith has to transform the world and to renew the human family. Transform this world and renew the human family. Jesus' words tells us that when God has a relationship with someone, nothing, not even death, can destroy that relationship. Death is not the end, merely a passage to a fuller relationship with God. And St. Paul reminds us, I am certain that neither death nor life nor any other creature will be able to separate us from the love of God that comes to us in Jesus Christ. To neglect our responsibility for this world is to neglect our baptismal promises. To neglect our responsibility for this world is to neglect our baptismal promises. Our word, that I do, that we say, reaches out into the future from this community. God bless you.